Go ahead.
Woo! Y'all, we got a problem.
Yep.
We got a problem. We just read this survey that opened up. It was done at, I think, towards the end of 2024. And it said that 35% of Christian marriages end in divorce. But that's not even the biggest problem. I mean, that's a problem. But that means there's another 65% that are staying together. But of that 65%, y'all, almost over a quarter of those marriages are still saying that they are struggling and that they are miserable. So even though they're staying together, they're staying married, but they're struggling and they're miserable.
35%.
And 35, no, over a quarter,
Yeah.
over 25% of the ones that are still staying together. So that's a problem, y'all. It's like some of y'all like, well, at least we're not getting a divorce.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That's
because
not
even though y'all aren't getting a divorce, you're still staying together, but you're miserable. And don't nobody marry
To be
miserable.
Not at all.
And that was even us.
That's the problem.
We actually came to one of those points in our marriage where we were almost going to be a part of that statistic. When we thought we might be a part of that statistic that was staying married, but we were like right on that miserable part.
Yeah.
And so what about you? How are you making sure you don't become part of that statistic? What are you doing to make sure you're not going to be a part of those who are either divorced or, well, at least we're not divorced. We're still staying together, but yeah, we struggling and we miserable.
Yeah.
So we don't want you to be a part of that statistic. And how do you even know? How do you even know that you might be kind of gearing in that direction? Getting to that, well, we're kind of getting miserable part. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah. So, hey y'all, it's Linwood
and Danae. Yeah. And we are here, y'all. We just created this little segment, this community to help people who, man, y'all are killing it and everything y'all do outside the home, but y'all are losing in marriage. And we want to help you align your life to God's principles, because we know that when you make God the biggest part of your life together, you do not do life apart from each other.
Absolutely.
So, welcome.
Welcome to Saturday.
Welcome to Saturday.
Let's do it. All right. What's the story you was talking about now?
Man.
All right.
When we thought we was going to be in that statistic.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like, I think it was the end of 2023, right?
Oh, yeah. That was a rough one.
Yeah. That was pretty.
That was
we had some good points, but but towards the end.
If Charles Dickens would say, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. But let's say it was the worst of times and it's the best of times.
Yeah.
And so we decided to align with the best of times.
Yes. We always try to stay focused on the good, but we were struggling, y'all. We were, and it was like towards the end of 2023. And this was the thing. We were like 10 years into our marriage. 10 years. We had reached that decade. We had reached that 10 mark point, y'all. And we was like, man, the things should be good. But they weren't. And we came to that point, and I came to you, and I was like, I feel like I'm losing my best friend.
And I felt the same way.
What is going on right now?
I felt the same way. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, things should be good, but we was missing it, and we couldn't figure out what we were doing wrong. We were like, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
What are we missing? And so we were going through a lot of the motions.
Yeah.
We were still living on the road full time. Was coming off the road, but I remember we were at the state park down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Down in Destin.
Mm-hmm.
We were staying in Destin, and we got into a big tizzy that day.
Yeah, it was interesting. I just say that it was interesting. Yeah.
And man, just had to be honest about some things. Like, everything seems all good, but
what was bothering you?
You weren't listening. I felt like you weren't listening. I felt like I wasn't really being heard. That was the biggest issue. Yeah. I felt like a lot of the stuff, every conversation we had would just come and circle back around to
you. Can say
to
it.
You.
Yeah, you can say it.
And a lot of the things
this Saturday,
you wanted,
yeah.
It was a lot of communication issues.
Yeah.
It really was.
And I, it was hard for me to hear that
Mm-hmm.
because I was doing what I thought I needed to do to get us from point A to point B in this journey, in this whole adventure that we was
Mm-hmm.
having. It was great. You know, we were around great people. We were doing great things. We were overcoming a lot of obstacles, a lot of repairs, a lot of things that was on the road and in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't all smooth.
Yeah.
You know, we shared some of that stuff on our, our adventures on this channel, and there were highlights and there were lowlights.
Yeah.
You know, when the dim lights went out on
Yeah.
the vehicle and stuff like that, on the trailer and stuff like that. It's just overcoming things over and over again. And you'll hear, you know, travel fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And we get in this life together,
Yeah.
in a marriage, you get fatigued.
Yep.
So there's times you have to rest.
Yep.
You know. So there are signs that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And we did talk about the
Yep.
2 signs.
And that's what we want to share with y'all today. 2 signs that'll show that it's time for you to change how you love your spouse. Yeah. And that was one of the signs that we stumbled across at the end of 2023, is that we were not getting the outcome we desired. The outcome wasn't coming out, y'all. It was outcome wasn't coming out. So, you know, we didn't have harmony in our marriage. We didn't have the friendship that we had before. Everything was just kind of, we had the kinship. Yeah. We didn't have the friendship. So we weren't really getting the outcome that we knew marriage could be and what it could have, even after 10 years. And we were like, man, what is missing? What is missing? And,
you know, I talked about Charles Dickens, you know, worst of times and best of times. But it's also, this thing is like, I think it was Einstein. You keep doing what you're doing, expecting different results.
Oh, the definition of crazy.
The definition of
that
crazy.
Cycle.
It was crazy, you know? And it was like, so what do we need to do? Mm-hmm. You know, what do we need to do? I've done this. I'm doing this. You know, waking up in the morning. We talked about last time with you, you know, early in the morning, you know, I'm thinking I'm preparing for you. I'm doing these things and coffee, but it's bothering you while you sleep, you know? So you're like, I need to learn how to sleep. So we're going through all these little things that seem to be.
We made little adjustments along the way.
We made adjustments. And you adjust. And then you find yourself adjusting so much, right? That you're out of alignment, period.
Yeah.
You know, you out of alignment. The vehicle, you know, things start shaking, indicator lights start coming on. It's a lot of things going on. And sometimes we miss the indicators.
Yep.
That I might have gotten to the destination along the journey. Mm-hmm. But you know what? We can't keep doing this and get to the next stop. So it's like, okay, the outcome isn't there. The second thing I talk about is the intent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And most of the time, I'm intending to do this. I'm doing this because of this. And I'm doing this. And she's doing this for this or that. So that, again, during that time doesn't work in this time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the past doesn't work in the present. So it's like, okay, what do I need to adjust? So the outcome isn't happening.
Yep.
And the intent in which I was doing is not working out.
Yeah. And sometimes you're even focused on your personal intent. So like your definition of what you think is good is overriding what's good for the whole marriage, because you're only focused on your intent of what you want. So, and it's overriding. So
y'all here, are there anything, you know, is this working? Is it?
Well, have you ever felt that way? Yeah. Have you ever felt like, man, we're doing all the things, checking what we think are the boxes, but we're still not on one accord.
Yeah.
We are still having disunity, disharmony in our marriage. We are still struggling.
Yeah.
Or maybe even miserable at this point in your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely a big thing for us. I even remember like when we first got married, taking it back a little bit.
Come on.
And I thought that our marriage is going to be pretty easy, pretty good. Because I mean, we both had a great relationship with God. Our marriage was definitely built on friendship. We had established a really good friendship.
Yeah.
we know that God brought us together because it was a miracle.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like everything seemed really good. And so when we first got married, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be easy. I had never been married before, so I didn't even understand how much work it takes to cultivate that marriage. But when we first, our first maybe like 2 years coming into our second year of marriage, and I was like, this ain't quite working out the way I thought it was.
Yeah. And it wasn't working out the way I thought it was going to be, because for y'all who knew, I was married before, right? And got a divorce. Oh, man, that was painful.
Yeah.
So, again, not thinking about that time. I'm going to stay in this time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this. I was doing a lot of things, right? Because I know that she loves me.
Yeah.
And I know that she wants me to do these things, but I never talked to her.
Yeah.
About what she needed.
That was the thing. Yeah. And that's what marriage actually did for me. It revealed so many parts in me that I didn't even know needed healing. It revealed a lot of my self-centeredness. Yeah. Marriage is very revealing, y'all. It really is, because it's the closest that you'll be to somebody who can see you 24/7.
Absolutely.
You can't hide, you're not like, they're there 24/7. And there's some things and the reflection, you see a lot of yourself in the reflection, it's like, and it just reveals, it really truly reveals who you are. And so I was trying to be this wife that I thought that I should be. And he was like, I don't even need all that. But I'm like, this is the role of a wife. Yeah. This is what a wife should do. But man, it was just, it was rough. And so, again, my definition of what I thought a good marriage should be was definitely overriding God's design for marriage, and what I wasn't focused on that as much. What God was saying it should be.
And I was focused on what could I do this time better, right? Yeah. And it was like, okay, I know what I didn't do, right? Or what I did do. And she never asked me. So this time, I'm just going to be whatever that man was in that he didn't do, then I'm going to do it this time.
Yeah.
But those are two different times, two different people. And I'm not even talking about her and her. I'm talking about Linwood then and Linwood now. So those two people are two different people.
Yeah.
Right? So who am I going to be this time? Now, like I told you, these videos are not about how to. It's what we're going to now do.
Yeah.
And now be, and now know, and align to. So it's like, okay, one of the stories that kept rubbing me, really rubbing you.
Which one?
Is when I would call you young lady.
Oh. Yeah, that was irritating.
Yeah.
Because I'm younger than him.
Yes. And I did not realize me saying young lady, right, was causing a rift.
Yeah.
But then I started doing, remember that little thing I was doing like
dismissiveness.
I was like, yeah. And one day I just caught myself like, what is that? And I stopped in the middle of it and say, babe, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And when I do this, I don't mean to dismiss, because that's very dismissive. That what is your little tick that you have from that time? Yeah. To this time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's showing up right now.
Yeah.
In this moment with the person. And it's like, I didn't realize that was happening. And one day, now, this could easily mistakenly do something. You understand? I don't never, you know what I mean? But one day I might just be, in that moment, and it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'll be very vulnerable in that moment to say, oh man, That wasn't right.
Yeah.
That wasn't right. So forgive me. Let that wasn't the outcome I needed, and that wasn't my intent.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the intent?
Mm-hmm.
Right. My intent was to, okay, I disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of that. And that's why we do these dates.
Yeah.
Every day is a date day, because when we sit here talking, we can really get it out.
Yeah.
23rd Psalm says, he prepares the table in the presence of my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So if he does it in front of people that don't care about me and are doing things, she cares about me. I care for her.
Yes.
I'm at the same table.
Yes.
We're at the same table. Let's eat from that.
Yeah.
So again, we talked about what's wrong, the outcome and alignment. I'm saying the intent.
Yeah.
So
that's right, Letitia. The revelation is necessary for growth. Yes, learning so much every day.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we saw in 2023. It was the revealing.
Yes.
It was the revealing of, okay, we're out of sync with God first.
Yes.
And definitely with one another, because it's manifesting here. And so we had to get back to the standard.
Yeah.
We had to get back to what we were measuring.
Yes.
The things that we were doing against what God's expectation is.
Yeah. And from last time we talked about the plumb line.
Yeah.
So it's alignment time, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this talk, Philippians comes up.
Yeah, so it's alignment time.
4. It's alignment time.
This your word for the
this
day,
the word
y'all.
For the day.
This the word for the day.
This the word for the day. And I would like to read just to show y'all I know how to read. And I do go to the word. And I get this from who I would say is the most vulnerable, most spiritual leader I ever had. And from the pulpit, he said, don't believe what I say.
Yeah.
Read it for yourself. Right? So I'm going to read it for myself. And I had to. And I continue to do it. And I would strongly emphasize that you do it too. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. And we're going back to what is it? How do you need to love differently?
Yes. Because
things are just not going the way that you desired or that you expected that it would in your marriage. Yeah. So let's go back. So
it's Philippians 4. And I'm going to start at verse 3. And she'll give you the overview of the story and everything. It says, yes, and I'm coming from a CSV. If it does, it sounds familiar.
Go ahead.
Yes, I ask you, true partner, to help these women who contended for the gospel at my side, along with Clement and the rest of my co-workers whose names are in the book of life. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your graciousness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Don't worry, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition or supplication, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any moral excellence, and if there is anything praiseworthy, think on these things. Do what you have learned and received and heard from me, I would say to God, and seen in what the word says in me, and the God of peace will be with you. And I'll stop right there.
So this is what we do, y'all. When we are feeling out of sync in our marriage, when we are feeling, we grab the word, we do. And we're like, Lord, show us what we're not getting. Show us what we're coming out of alignment with. And when God revealed this story for us, let me just break it down for you. There was some co-workers, some partners, some co-laborers who are working together, and they were supposed to be in partnership, but they were disagreeing. They was falling out. They supposed to be working towards this common goal together, but they were butting heads. They were quarreling. They were disagreement. And Paul was like, y'all need to get y'all crap together. And in order to get your crap together, I'm going to send y'all some help. So sometimes God brings people into your environment. He brings people into your circumstances to show you and to help even be like the indicator lights of, hey, y'all got some struggles going on. Let me help you. Let me send you a word. Let me send you some advice, some encouragement. Let me show you in the word where y'all need some help. So Paul sends them some help. And he said, like, y'all are supposed to be working together, but y'all are missing the mark. Y'all supposed to be being the light, but y'all are dimming each other because y'all are quarreling and coming out of sync. And so they were killing it, y'all. They were killing it in their work. They were killing it. And a lot of us do that. We're killing it on the things that's going on outside of the home. At work, y'all doing well. You know, in school, you're doing well. Like all these other places, y'all are doing well, but y'all just keep missing it when it comes to the things about your marriage, when it comes to working in partnership with your spouse. And that's what was happening here. So he sends help, and he says, in order to get back to the outcome of the peace and the harmony, that y'all were sent here to do
and to be,
let me give y'all some tips. Number one, pray. He was like, pray, because he said, first of all, pray.
They say rejoice.
Yeah. Let your requests be made known to God through prayer and petition. So get together and pray. So that was one of the things that we did. We was like, all right, pause. We just got to pause. First, he went in his corner and prayed. I went in my corner and prayed. And then we came together and began to pray.
You know that Adam corner we go to? Lord, this woman you gave me.
Yes.
You know? And so instead of the Lord, this woman you gave me, make her do this, I'm like, Lord, make me over.
Yeah.
Allow me. Show me. Yeah. Give me the ears to hear. Right? What is she saying? It says in the word, above all you're getting, get an understanding. I ain't understanding what's going on right now. So Lord, you say you will freely give the knowledge and stuff. So I'm asking right now, because I do love this woman. Right? And I do care.
And she's we ain't friend. Married to be miserable.
We ain't married to be miserable.
That's not the point here.
So it's like, what do I need to do?
Yes.
Not what she needs to do and what she's done. Why am I not hearing?
Yep.
Why am I not, So again, like Michael Jackson, I have to remember the time
when we fell.
Yeah. We were young and innocent then. You know what I mean?
Innocent. All this crap started getting.
So it's like, oh man. So right now it don't feel so innocent.
Yeah. But then that's good, because that goes into the next thing he told them to do, was fix their thoughts.
Fix your thoughts.
And that was a big problem, because we talking about it's time to change how you love your spouse, because sometimes we are reflecting on times that really don't matter for what's going on now.
Right now.
Right. So there were some things that I wasn't bringing up to him that were bothering me, because I was projecting stuff that had happened in the past. And I was like, that same result or his response is going to be now. However he responded back in the past is how he's going to respond now. And I wasn't even giving him an opportunity to show me something different. I was like, well, I ain't going to bring it up, because he's going to respond the same way he used to respond 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even true.
Or 20 minutes ago.
Ago.
Because sometimes you're like, hold on just a minute. We'll talk about it later. And it might be 20 minutes, it might be an hour, whatever.
Right.
And then we get right back into the same thing. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a little different, Yeah.
We
paused to say, okay, I'm not going to react the same way.
Yeah.
That was that time. And then we bring that time right into this time. And do the same thing.
Yep.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Why is that, y'all? Why do we do that?
But so you can fix your thoughts, and that's what he told them to do. The things, is this true?
Yeah. True?
Are you thinking of a good report about your spouse?
Am I thinking on
just
what's
all
lovely?
Of those things? Are you thinking on what's lovely? Or you just
of good report?
Yeah.
So we have the reminders. So we have to remember the time. To remember the time I read. And his spirit will, like I said, it'll lead us into all truth. I need it right now. But when my wife, what you brought to this was like, what's in the well will come up in the bucket.
Yeah.
So if I don't have the living water in it, when I'm asking for it, it's not there. And I'm just pleading with you all.
Yeah.
Get it in you. read it for yourself.
Yep.
Not because Linwood and Danae says it. We're on Saturdays and we just sharing, how we used it to overcome things.
Yes.
So please do the same thing for yourself.
Yes.
Oh man, did we
Thank
just
you for that,
remember the
Mrs.
time?
Gilbert.
Oh man.
Appreciate that.
Yes. We just got a doggone.
Remember the time.
What is it?
Our
What super chat. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty
Thank
good.
You, thank you.
I'm sorry. That got me hyped. But anyway.
So I like one of the things going back to the things that indicate when things are not going on.
The
because
indicators.
When you get married on that marriage certificate.
Guess what, y'all? There's no indicators on this thing. When you start having arguments, you can't look down at this certificate and you say, "Oh, I'm getting a little hot. I'm running out of oil. The oil, of ease is not happening." There's nothing on here. This paper does not make things or indicate things that are wrong in your marriage. It's a certified. It's a certificate.
You have to pay attention.
You have to pay
each
attention.
Other. You can't just
when the temperature or when the feelings are high.
Yeah.
Oh, it's running hot.
Yep.
It's a little sensitive over here. Mm-hmm. So now I need to okay, I can't look to this paper. I can't even look to this ring. I have to look to God. Mm-hmm. To Lord, you gave me these feelings. What is this supposed to be? Because normally it would freeze, flight, or fight. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do either one of those with her right now.
Yeah.
So think on these things. What's pure? What's lovely?
Yeah.
When we was new, this went well. Yeah. So I do have a reference point. And along each thing that we started happening, that was kind of like, oh man, we need to get from California back to Georgia quickly. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of turbulence coming back. Yeah. And it was just like, okay, Lord, you know what the intent is. We got to get back to home base. We need to get back and get some rest. Yeah. We got to refresh and stuff like that. Get some sunshine on our head. Because if you can remember, it was a cold snap.
It was.
It was crazy.
But even in the midst of all of that, we had to pay attention again to the indicator lights that was going on and take that time to pause and pay attention to put all the other stuff that was going on around us out. We had the kids pulling at us. We had this thing pulling the house situation because we was trying to figure out what to do with the rental, like all this stuff. But we was also falling apart. So we had to just pause on all that other stuff that was going on external of us.
It's time.
And pay attention to those indicator lights because we didn't want to end up being that, well, at least we ain't divorced.
At least we ain't divorced. And that's not good.
But we didn't want to live married miserably either. Yeah. So
nobody marries to be miserable.
And you don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to believe that, well, at least we didn't get divorced. No, it can be different. You can have a successful marriage. You can be happily married, but you might just have to change your standard. Yeah. It's not your standard of what love does. It's God's standard of what love does. Yeah. And that was another thing, we got to get that love, that God's definition of love and say, man, am I doing that? Yeah. Am I not keeping record of wrong? Am I not demanding my own way? Am I not being rude? Am I not, being kind? Mm-hmm. Like God's standard and definition of love is sometimes totally different from what we're doing in the moment.
Well, you said it. So where can I find that definition of love?
1 Corinthians 13.
Love is? 1 Corinthians 13.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It tells you all
that's what you measure it up against.
It'll tell you what love is, mm-hmm. what it's not, and what it does.
Yeah.
So if it is this, that's what I need to be.
Yeah.
It's kind. It's gentle. What it does and does not do, right? Is not, that is. And then what it does. I'm sorry. So, yeah.
But that's it. Redefining your standard of how you're loving your spouse in that moment and measure it up against what God's standard of love is in the moment. So that's that on that. So anyway, that was what we have for y'all today.
Yes.
Just recognizing those two signs that it's time to change how you're loving your spouse. If the outcome
is not
what y'all desire, And if
Your
your
intent
intent is not
Yeah.
what God's intent for marriage should be in your life.
Not for that moment.
Oh, for that moment. Yeah. For your marriage. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to remind y'all to thank y'all again for being here today with us on this Saturday. And we wanted y'all to remind y'all that we do still have our registration open for our masterclass on April 12th.
April 12th.
And there's the link is pinned in the top of the chat. Y'all go ahead right now if you haven't already. Click that link to register, and you'll have a bonus class that you get to participate in as well, which is an intimate conversation with
5th.
Some spouses on April 5th. So you'll have a bonus to go with that as well. And we are just going to be talking about how to redefine so that you can realign in your marriage, so you can get the peace and the harmony that you desire in your marriage. Teaching y'all how to have those intentional moments of connection in your marriage, and how to learning what the 4 areas that spouses that easily cause misalignment in your marriage, and showing y'all how to work through that specifically as it relates to how y'all relate to one another.
Yes.
So
I want to thank you. I want to get some feedback too.
Yeah.
And all this. I'm not sure if the comments were, because we had a few in, and then some of them are like breaking up.
Yep.
So we was trying.
So go ahead and drop your takeaways that y'all got for today. Yeah. Man, this has kind of been a little rough week for us, y'all, but we're making it through.
It's been a very interesting week. Saturday, it was still going to happen. So I thank y'all for joining. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot.
Yeah.
And then the reason we came on is like, okay, if we're going through, y'all are going through.
Yeah.
And
there's always somebody going through.
Yeah. The commitment is to make every day a date day. Yeah. So we got that. We got that.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes. Blessings, family.
We appreciate
that. You, man.
And look, y'all, I don't know if y'all see my flowers over there in the corner, but he remembered to bring the right flower.
That's right. Look, I was sent to the grocery store. I got the FLOUR, and I got the flowers too. So, yeah. Sometimes I go get the wrong thing. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I appreciate y'all. And oh, yes, I am. I am growing, Chris. I am growing. Continues growing. And that's what he asks us to do. Continue to grow. Continue to become, right? Continue to align. Love yourself as you love your neighbor, while you loving him with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Mm-hmm. So thank y'all for joining, and
pay attention to your indicator lights.
That's it, because this certificate ain't
so that you can have a successful and a happy marriage too, y'all.
Yes.
Thank you, Randy. We appreciate that. Yeah. And Letitia says, my takeaway is challenges will come, but seek God. Keep leaning on the word for guidance. All right. You need to laminate your marriage certificate. Keep that thing tight and right, honey.
It's just a little sleeve, But yeah, I definitely keep it there, man. Yeah.
Hey, Brother Taylor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that.
Beautiful.
Man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Says, marriage reveals a lot about our own insecurities. Understand what are your partner's ticks, what's pure, what's loving. Turn to God. What is his definition of love? Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to know the commander's intent, not your own intent.
Baby, can I give a bonus? They made me laugh now.
Go for it.
Now, look, in these certifications, man, whether y'all are certified, certificates, whether you're a certified electrician, certified with the CDL, certified in all these things, right? You might be a certified electrician, certified plumber. But if you're not keeping the flow, if you're not keeping the current going, if you're not paying attention to the road and staying within the road, all these certifications that you have mean nothing. If you're stalling out, if you're crashing, if things aren't flowing, if you're short-circuiting. So don't worry about the paper. Worry about being that certified person, that certified pilot. You still remember, sometimes you have to go back to the manual. Mm-hmm. And your manual for marriage is God's word.
Yes, it is.
So that's the bonus for today.
Yeah.
That's the way you remember the time when we fell in love. Because he first loved us. And I know he loves us, he loves you, and we're going to love ourselves and love our neighbor. This is our first neighbor.
Yes.
So, hey, that was the bonus for today.
Yes.
So thank you for the laugh.
That was good, babe.
Yes. The joy of the Lord
is our strength.
So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for laboring with us. Thank you for being on our date. I love these multiple dates. And thank you for the date last night. You know, we had a double date with our friends, with Jeremy and Ingrid.
Yeah, that was
so
fun.
Thank you. That was fun. Yeah. So
appreciate that, y'all.
Y'all continue to connect with those who are laboring in good news and in the word, because he loves us. Yeah. That's it for Saturday, y'all. We're going to meet with some other friends right now. That's why we still all equipped. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all
next
next
every
week.
day a Saturday.
A Saturday. Yeah. Make every day a date day. Yeah. Today is Saturday. We'll see y'all next Saturday on Saturday. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye. Peace.